You are feeling stuck for so long within the same circle? Do you frantically require an altar and breakthrough? I have great news for your life nowadays. God is prepared to move your life for the superior. He is right there with you, changing circumstances in your favor. Do you question this? Nowadays, I will share 10 signs that show God is working behind the scenes to move you to higher statures. After you see any of these signs, they are affirmations that God is around to do a modern thing in your life. He hasn't overlooked you. Sit back as I unveil these 10 signs. Sometime recently we proceed. If you don't mind, keep in mind to subscribe to this channel. In the event that you haven't, you may well be confronting loathsome circumstances that make you address God's presence. Maybe you're going through an extreme time presently, but no matter how troublesome or overpowering the season is for you, keep in mind that no circumstance endures until the end of time. God doesn't take off anything midway. Anything He begins, He will total. In the event that He has supported you to this hour, He will unquestionably culminate all that concern you. Continuously keep in mind that He organizes these things to lead you toward a more satisfying life. As a Christian, you ought to know that life won't be all blushing. Indeed, Jesus Christ experienced challenges whereas He was here on soil. But there's great news for you. Amid all these, you have got the affirmation that the changes you're encountering are instruments God is utilizing to move your life for the way better. Moves happen in forms and stages. Remember, Ecclesiastes 3:1 says there's a time for everything and a season for each movement beneath the sky. This implies that altar doesn't happen overnight. It might take days, months, or indeed years before the comes about surfaces. God works in a range. That's why He takes His time to prepare you, sometime recently putting you beneath the highlight. Shockingly, a few individuals do not make it through these moves. That's since they now and then come up short to distinguish God's hand in it. Or maybe they aren't mindful sufficient. The truth is, in the event that you do not know the intellect of God, you'll never get it when He's working behind the scenes in your life. So, to guarantee you do not miss out on this, here are 10 signs that affirm that God is transitioning your life for the superior. Number 1, you ended up eager and awkward in your comfort zone. Are you feeling so uneasy and restless, profound inside your soul, indeed when things show up to be fine with you on the surface? This is often usually the to begin with sign you see after you step into a season of move. You're feeling a need of peace. However, once you see around, everything appears to be very affirm. When this happens, do not be anxious. There is nothing off base with you. God is, as it were, blending up your confidence for the next calling. This voracious yearning is His way of making a profound feeling of dissatisfaction inside you. He ingrains a burden in your heart, so you'll be able to seek unused and superior skylines in Him. For occasion, you might have the best work anybody can wish for. Everything in your life may well be moving well, however you are feeling unsatisfied. Typically a push from God for you to crave way better openings. After you discover yourself in a circumstance like this, turn to God in earnestness and inquire Him for bearings and clarity. Number 2, you might encounter challenges and closed entryways. The book of Scriptures guarantees us that we are going never need why God claims all things. He gives sufficient for those working to fulfill His purpose in their life. This provision will, in any case, halt once you walk exterior God's will. You might start to battle to induce the things you had before. However, is this continuously the case? What in case you still keep God's commandments, but still experienced challenges? That's why you must know that indeed, when you're still connected to God, divine provision might decrease. At this point, you may now not feel His nearness in your activities. Unwind. This doesn't cruel, He doesn't adore you any longer. He sees that you've become too comfortable in your current state, and He knows that in the event that you're cleared out there, stagnancy would become your companion. So He turns off the switch of divine provision. This way you have to urge up and move ahead. This was what happened to the children of Israel in the wild. When you experience this, don't complete. God is setting you free from the situations that are hindering your growth, and He's preparing you for a better season of blessings. This will be very challenging, but take a step of faith and follow His lead. He will take you by the hand to your promised land. What is the challenge or difficulty you're facing? Don't panic. Lay it all at the feet of Jesus and you'll find rest. Number 3, God will change your perspectives and stir a new passion in you. Your perspective needs to change before God can elevate your life. You must have heard people say you can't keep doing the same thing every time and expect different results. This is very true. To get a better experience out of life, how you view certain things needs to change. This may include a change in relationships, friendships, and character. For Abraham, God had to separate him from Lot before his prosperity setting. Sometimes people pray that God should separate them from the things hindering their success. However, even after God answers this prayer, they still hold firm to the same things. You can't be praying for something and still be blocking the answer to your prayer. For this transition to be complete, you must allow God to prune you, shake off every unpleasant behavior, and let go of those toxic relationships. He does this so you can have a deeper sense of purpose beyond what you know. When this happens, embrace this newfound passion. Then watch how God will kindle the flames of your unique talents and gifts. Number 4, God will send divine connections your way. For every season, God has prepared certain people to help you. These persons are destiny helpers who align with His purpose for you. God connects you to BIM in ways that you can't explain. They may sometimes be people you know, such as mentors, friends, or family. On the other hand, they may be total strangers whose duty is to help you at that particular stage in life. These people encourage and challenge you to step into your new season. Apostle Paul is a practical example of one who experienced this divine connection. God sent Barnabas to go with Paul on his missionary journey after he got converted. Barnabas was the one who introduced Paul to the apostles in Jerusalem. He also spoke to them about Paul's new stand in Christ and helped him spread the gospel. And yes, your destiny helper might be reluctant to help you. Notwithstanding, no matter how hardened the heart of your destiny helper is, God will turn it in your favor. The Bible gives assurance in Proverbs 21. One saying in the Lord's hand, "The king's heart is a stream of water that he channels toward all who please him." Number 5, you will experience peace amid uncertainties. When others are murmuring and complaining about the unpleasantness around you, you will remain unshaken. Not because everything is smooth with you, but because of the presence of God in your life. The peace of God surpasses all understanding, and when it fills your heart, it brings calmness. Sometimes when you experience this, you might not understand what is happening, but God wants you to know that this is a sign of transition. It is a sign that He's taking you to a place that is better than what you're enjoying. Now you may not like the offer presented to you. Nevertheless, there is a kind of peace around it. God might use this channel to change your life. Number 6, you will experience the unveiling of new opportunities in your life, when your life is transitioning for something better. God positions you at the right place and time to embrace the right opportunities. They may not be what you desire. Nonetheless, you must trust God to align them with His will for your life. It is often difficult to risk taking up new opportunities because you are already used to what you have. But you need to know that God won't bring you out of level 1 into another level 1. Instead, He will take you to a higher and greater level. Problem with some people is that when such opportunities surface, they don't glorify God. They prefer to use it for their selfish gains. When Esther became the queen, she would have used her new position for her benefit, but she didn't do that. Instead, she chose to help her people, and she succeeded. If you're determined to work for God, opportunities will keep coming your way, and God will use you in greater dimensions for His glory. Number 7, the transformation of your life will lead to divine restoration. For restoration to take place, there must first be a loss. Joel 225:26 says, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten the great locust and the young locust, the other locusts and the locust swarm, the great army that I sent among you. You will have plenty to eat until you are full, and you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. Never again will my people be shamed. This indicates that you'll recover the things you lost in the past, just like in the case of Job. As you surrender to his guiding hand, his wind of favor will blow to all areas of your life. He will heal every broken thing and pour abundant blessings, peace, joy, and fulfillment upon your life. When you experience this, know it is a sign of transition from God to usher you into your season of plenty. Embrace it, and his promises concerning you will never fail. Number 8, your faith in God will increase. Faith in God is very crucial for a desired connection with him. But there are times when trusting God seems to be a very difficult thing to do, and other times you'll find yourself doing it without stress. However, you know your problems and challenges can make you trust God more. It sounds funny, but it's true. Take a look at Joseph. His destiny was to be a leader, but right from his father's house, his brothers hated him. That would have been enough reason to give up on his dreams. But he didn't. Next, his brothers sold him into slavery. Imagine someone whose destiny is to be a leader becoming a slave. How would he feel? In that kind of situation, many people will have to rethink whether they understand their dreams well enough. But despite all these, Joseph didn't give up. As his life became tougher, his faith in God grew stronger. He never gave up until he fulfilled God's purpose for his life. His problems helped him to trust God all the more, no matter how hard his situation was. Aside from that, his wisdom also increased. He gained divine wisdom and was able to rule the right way. You might have been struggling a lot, but keep your faith intact. God is taking you to a place far beyond where you are strengthening your faith in him to use you for his glory. Number 9, you will receive the willingness to obey God more. God's love for mankind is unique in all facets, and one interesting thing is the more you get to know God, the faster your love for him grows. This tells you that if you don't know God, it will be difficult to love him. One good way you can prove your love for God is through obedience. When you begin to feel that nudge to do what pleases God despite the inconvenience you encounter, it shows that God is working not only on your heart, but also on your entire being, is transitioning and restructuring you into the person he desires you to be. He wants you to have the Jesus kind of heart. When you embrace this, you will encounter God at a new level like never before. Number 10, when God is transitioning your life, you will receive divine confirmations. You're well aware that God is not an author of confusion. That is why he clarifies everything he does. He makes sure you receive a confirmation to show that he is the reason behind the happenings around you. This confirmation often comes in different ways. It could be through divine interventions, confirming signs, or prophetic messages. It could be that you're experiencing a certain situation in your life. You then ask God for a sign to confirm if he's the one at work in your life. You might be listening to a sermon, and it feels like the preacher is speaking to you in particular. Immediately, you would know that's the confirmation you asked for. Has this ever happened to you? One Bible character who asked God for this kind of sign was Gideon. When God called him to leave the Israelites to fight against the Midianites, Gideon was unsure of himself. He thought he was not unqualified, so he inquired for a sign to affirm God's calling upon his life. He said he would put a fleece downy on the sifting floor in case there's dew, as it were, on the downy and all the ground is dry. At that point he will know that God called him. God made this happen regardless. Gideon was still not fulfilled, so he inquired God for another sign. This time he said, "Let the downy be dry," and the ground secured with dew. God, moreover, made this happen. At long last, Midian accepted that God would utilize him to spare the children of Israel. And he moved on with certainty. You wish to pay sharp consideration to those dreams, and promptings from the sacred soul. These are divine affirmations that God is changing your life for a more prominent reason. Do your child of God as you pass through distinctive attempting seasons. Use caution to recognize the signs that appear God is at work, changing your life for the way better. Let them guarantee that God is transitioning your life for His divine reason. Grasp the travel, believe His driving, and yield to His transformative control. May your involvement delight as you go through these vital turning focuses in your life to your ruler. I come sometime recently, your position of authority of elegance to recognize your lordship over my life. I thank you for never allowing my foes to have their way with me. It isn't since I am noble, but since of your kindnesses over my life. I lift up your title until the end of time. Thank you for uncovering the signs that appear you're transitioning my life for the way better. God, if it's not too much trouble, direct and enable me as you move my life for the superior. I believe in your divine arrange and yield to your will. Give me the strength and boldness to grasp the changes that lie ahead and to completely believe in your timing and reason. No matter how troublesome the moves are, made a difference me to see the openings for development and endowments in this move and deliver me and persevering soul. Jesus Christ persevered all the hardship he confronted on soil from birth to execution. If you don't mind, offer assistance me to be like Jesus. I will continuously stand for what is right, not disapproving the crowd against me, for I know simply will never take off or spurn me. Master, I inquire that you grant me a heart of acquiescence, a heart that will cherish you both in times of bounty and need. I know that life isn't a walk through the park, but I too know that life with you is sweet and eternal. This is the life I want to encounter. If it's not too much trouble, make it a reality for me. Offer assistance me to let go of the things that are ruining my advance. Evacuate anything as standing as a barricade on another level, be it my companions or my character. If it's not too much trouble, offer assistance me to shake them off. I let go of every weight that's pulling me down. Open my eyes to distinguish any relationship, not including esteem to my life. And as I'm isolated from them, if you don't mind, interface me to the individuals you've predetermined to assist me on this journey. I pray for wisdom and acumen. I have to make the proper choices and explore this unused season of my life. Father, give unto me above all, my Father, if you don't mind, give me the elegance to continue on. I recognize that you're as well loyal to come up short me. It would be ideal if you prune and refine me into that wrapped up item concurring to your crave for my life. No matter how long it takes, I'm willing to hold up since I know that my conclusion will be wonderful. Thank you, magnificent Father, for I am certain that at whatever point I implore you, hear and reply me. In Jesus' title, I have supplicated. Amen. If this video touched your life, if it's not too much trouble, hit the like button. Do not disregard to subscribe to this channel for more soul-lifting recordings. Here's another one that will offer assistance, reestablish all you've misplaced.